What's up, guys? Listen, I'm here today and we're going to replace the top on the 92 Miata. So I'm going to jump right into it and try to go along as we do it. Top's pretty bad. It's actually the original one, and so it needs some replacement. And I think the first thing, so I can get to those beauty clips underneath there and start unscrewing bolts, is to just cut out the back window since it's going anyway. So that's my first. So as promised, what I've done is gone ahead and cut out that back top or back window so you can see that it just folds back, and that way I should be able to get to these beauty clips and take them off and then start working my way around. Makes it a little easier instead of having to sit in the back seat, because I do not want to take out the seats. And getting started, I've got my work area laid out. My problem is that I have a gravel floor in the drive or in the garage, so I don't want to lose anything. So that's why I got this tarp out, and I'll put some small parts in there. The old fork trick does work. Using this old fork, I was able to get those out of there. I've not broken any yet. These are the ones that are directly under the back window. And as you can see, you can kind of start to pull apart your carpet. Okay, so we've pulled down the carpet, and this one actually has an extra pad underneath it. That's interesting. Somewhere too. And so we're getting our tools arranged. Gonna need a socket set. Gonna need a driver and magnetic cup. So we'll get one thing I found different than other accounts is you're getting off these side rails. And try and get my light figured. This last one over here, I can't really use a power socket on it. That one, so I'm going to have to use it, do it by hand. The other thing is that my 92 has this thing, which fortunately has a Phillips top on it, and there's one on each side. I'm going to pull that off too. Yeah, it's great. Once you get that last one out, and this thing just goes right out easily. Rails actually look really good. Or, I'm sorry, not rain rails, but the full-size rails. There's no rust on them. Okay, well, I kind of ripped out the rain rails, you can see there, but I did get the top down, and so we're working on this side, and we're going to work on these towers and taking off the clips, and we're going to get that clip right there. Do make a note that as you're taking these off, these are different. These beauty clips are a little different. They have a floating center there. The fork did work on it, and so make sure these guys are 10 millimeter, and so they come out pretty easily. These little bolts always bothered me because I would move my elbow back to get the seatbelt or something, and sure enough, I would hit my elbow on those little things that stick out, those little nipples, and it was really a pain. I don't know why they're like that unless you can mount something on them. These guys come off pretty easily. It's not much of a problem. Just make sure that the little plastic piece at the bottom will not disappear, because then it takes apart the entire assembly. The other one went okay. I'll show you that one. So that's what it looks like, and that's the little plastic piece you want to keep in place. And this little plastic piece was almost through, so almost lost this down inside there, but we got it out, so be careful with that. These panels, what I found was that they came out really easily because one of these is already broken off. Same one's on the bottom, but we still have a clip there, so things should be good. I'm just going to set it down in its place. Nicely got this freed up so that we can see it, and doing the same thing on this side so we can get to work on the mounting. All right, so here, first of all, I used a knife to pull it up. Seems interestingly that I'm missing one, and then after that I was able to get my fork up under here and pull it loose, so that entire little rubber piece is loose now. I'd had a problem with this thing catching, and I don't know if I need to replace that or if it's going to be okay. We'll see how it goes. So, I'll do the other side now. So I figured this thing out. Basically, once we pull this off, we're going to put it inside with everything. And then this, that little piece I was worried about, caused me troubles, comes right out. And all right, next stop is going to be these bolts. Let's see if we can get those out with the 12. Yeah, it's definitely loosening it up. Looks like we've got a little bit of it. All right, so we've got the top out. Once I got those 6 bolts, 3 there and 3 there, loose, then making sure the rest of the rain rail came loose, we were able to pull the whole thing out. And actually I was able to do it by myself just by standing in the back of the car and lifting it. I covered the back here and then set it out. So now we've got our old cover sitting out, and we'll have to start getting to work on it. First stop's going to be to remove those 2 screws, and we'll get started there. And then we're going to do the rivets, and those guys look just like that. And of course that was a casualty, bee sting, stung by a wasp that was living inside. And we're going to drill out these rivets, number 1 and number 2 below. And so this is where I hit slow motion on the camera, and so you can fast forward through this part if you like. Sorry about that, guys. Taking off the weather stripping there is really very easy, and it's just a matter of prying one side out and just doing it gently so that you don't tear it. Even mine at over 30 years old didn't tear any of the weather stripping, and it worked really well. So I think that it should go great. Thanks. Next thing, we're going to remove all of these from the rails so that we can take them off. Should be about 8 of them per side. So we're going to do my pocket, I think. Now, interestingly enough, things talk about taking out 2 rivets. One would be right here and one would be here. And this top doesn't have it at all. The rivets on either side. It can't be that this top got replaced, though. We get to take off the actual leather. This is going to be great. This is the part we've all been waiting for, and that's why we're here. And we'll see how well. It's crazy. It kind of peels off, doesn't it? It's really old. See if we can get it to come loose there. Yeah. I'm really not quite this clumsy, just trying to do this while holding the phone, you know, at the same time. It looks like it's going to come loose nicely. I haven't done anything with the front though, so I'm going to do that. That comes right off. There we go. Now we're talking. So in pulling that, off of this mount, I find that my cables are probably definitely busted just because of the looseness. I think that's just going to pull straight out of there. So I'm probably going to need to go ahead and get the cable replacement. Okay, tension spring, we're going to fool with you. Now, as I said, I think my cables are broken. That's why it would open and close so easy. So we're going to go ahead and take this off anyway. And I'll just have to replace that stuff and I'll get it out. So, not under a lot of tension. Let's see how the other side is next. I think we still got some tension on this side. So that's good. Probably only got one busted one, but probably still need to replace them both. Trouble getting your tension spring or your cable through there like I did. It was because that was put together, and if you separate them, it just comes right through. So it easily drops back through here, and because it will want to put it back through that hole when we're finished and re-putting it in. Now we're taking these guys up, and I recall that mine started to come apart years ago, and I used neoprene glue to put it back together. So as you can see, that is that. This one just slides off the end. This one was Velcroed, and so we've taken care of it. And we should be able to slide. Lucky like mine, things just kind of fell apart, and we're left with these guys, which simply slide right off. Let's take this one. As you can see, slides out of that track right there. And here, and it just slides out. So now we've got our frame pretty much loose, except for this cable. Okay, so there's the old top, completely off now. We got it separated from our frame, so our frame will be ready for a new top very soon. Okay, so object lesson. I didn't replace my rain rail when I needed to, and if you can see that layer of dirt there, that is where water ran down, and especially on the left side here behind the driver, it ran through here, and as you can see, instead of going into the channel like the rain rail is supposed to tell you to do, this ran down this way. And if we come around the front to the door, you can see that this got kind of dirty and muddy. And what happened is that the dirt and the rain ran down through there, and of course it pooled in the body, and it caused this terrible rust problem, which probably not going to be able to do anything about given the age of the car. But that's why you make sure your rain rail works, so that you don't miss it and the water runs down. Oh, it's really clean. Okay guys, check out part 2 as we put the top back on.